How's it going, YouTube? John the PBFit, and today we're going to do a review and some maintenance on the Planet Eclipse Geo 3.5. Now, most of you know I've had this marker for quite some time, and I really do enjoy using this marker. Once again, Planet Eclipse hit it out of the park when they created the Geo 3.5. Now, I know that the CS1 is currently out, but I figure better late than never when it comes to this marker, because honestly, a lot of people are going to be purchasing these because they're going to go down in price, or they currently are going down in price, and there's going to be a lot more on the used market, especially. So key features are that it comes with a 14.5-inch barrel. Yes, 14.5-inch shaft 4 barrel. Now, a lot of you guys might be like, why? I mean, they want to be a little bit different. You know, Dye has their 15-inch boomsticks, and Planet Eclipse has their 14.5-inch shaft barrels, but you know, I think it's really cool. I mean, they might be a little bit easier to point. I don't know. I don't really notice a difference, but honestly, the fit and finish of this barrel and the honing is amazing. You can't go wrong with the shaft barrels. This marker has really nice grips. Like, it feels really good in the hands. A little bit longer than the previous Geos, and I really like that. Starting with the 3.1, I really like that they incorporated this into the Geos because it just feels so good in the hands. This air pipe really doesn't bother me at all. I don't notice it. And the solenoid restrictor here, where you can increase or decrease the speed of your bolt, I think that's a really innovative thing that they put in there. I think that's really cool, and I do use it on occasion, depending on the weather, honestly. So it's really nice. Trigger, not a bad trigger. Pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of Planet Eclipse triggers, never have been, and this is no different. They haven't changed forever, but there are lots of points of adjustments on this marker that you can adjust your trigger for your liking. Now, the Pops ASA, on the other hand, is the best ASA ever made, in my opinion. Super easy, and when time is of the essence, you're going to want an ASA like this. I can't tell you how many times I was fumbling around with a screw on, screw off ASA where it just took me time to try and switch a tank or whatever. So that's something that you don't really want to have to mess with when time is of the essence. It does come with a really easy to program OLED board. Mine is not set up to be fancy or anything, but you can change the colors and all that other stuff, so that's really nice. And ultimately, it has the nice finish here of a bolt out the back system, which I find very easy to take out and put back in. So that's a really cool feature that Planet Eclipse came up with to make our lives as players just a little bit easier. Once again, eyes come standard, and it shoots like a Geo shoots. Really amazing, except with the IV core, just made it a little bit more efficient. So that's basically the specs of this marker. Let's go ahead and bring the camera down. Let's do some maintenance on the regulator, which I think is very important. Basic maintenance on the regulator. I know that there's a bunch of crazy stuff you can do, but I'm just going to do basic maintenance on the regulator and then maintenance on the core of the Geo 3.5. So here's the Geo 3.5. Now, first things first, we're going to do the regular maintenance. So the first thing you want to do is remove this air pipe here. So you can easily, as you can tell, my gun's dirty still from last time I played, but this is why we're doing maintenance, right? So you just unscrew this back portion first, one closest to the grip frame. Now that's off. All right, so we could go ahead and, I like to use a towel first on everything to get it a little clean and everything like that, and then I'll go ahead, usually with like a microfiber afterwards, to you can actually back this out too to get cracks and stuff like that, but this is just the air pipe, so don't worry too much about that. And it is all plastic. All right, so we'll set this off to the side. All right, next is you're going to take off these grips. All right, so you're just going to kind of pull straight down. Use my nail. So I do have nails. All right. All right, go ahead and pull straight down. And now you can go ahead and screw off this bottom portion. All right, slide that portion off. All right, let's go ahead and take off this portion right here. See, and there's a lot of steps to this maintaining this regular. I mean, in my opinion, it feels like there's a lot of steps, but maybe it's just me. I mean, the Lux also had quite a few steps to getting to the regulator. The only one that was pretty simple and easy was the MacDev clone GTI and GT. But as you can see, I didn't really use any Allen keys, which was nice. I mean, you can, but I mean, for what I'm going to show you, you don't have to use any Allen keys. You can just use hand tight. All right, so boom. This is basically your spring and your piston. As you can tell, I have not done this since I bought it, because honestly, I don't feel like Planet Eclipse needs. You don't need to really do this that often. Like I said, I do all my regulators about every 10 cases. But I've been neglecting this marker, honestly. I've had a lot going on. If you guys are on my Instagram, you guys can definitely see what I got going on. So basically, I just wipe off the piston, wipe off the spring, and then I like to use a microfiber just to get off all the little nitty-gritty stuff. Nice and clean. Like I said, never pinch the end of this piston no matter what. You can really screw it up. Check your O-rings, whatever. Make sure they're good to go. You're going to take your Planet Eclipse grease and you're going to go ahead and apply a thin layer on here. Okay. And you're also going to apply a thin layer on this part right here because it's actually going to go down into the housing and lube up like your... There's like a rag seat down there that doesn't need lube, but there's some O-rings and stuff down in there that can definitely use some lube, so that's why you're going to lube up that area right there. So you're going to go ahead and drop in your spring and then drop in your piston. Alright, and that's basically all you really got to do on your own, and that's going to keep your gun working pretty flawlessly. Alright, all you got to do is screw this portion back on. Now I like to hit all O-rings with like a light coating of lube. That's just me. So even these two O-rings right here, I'll hit with a light, like a really light coating. Just make it easy to come on and off. Now I'm going to put this portion back on. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put this one back on so I'm not screwing up my grips. And then once again, hand tight this portion. There are little flat edges on here, like if you wanted to use like a wrench or something, but I really do not recommend it at all. Don't do that. Let's keep it simple. All right, and then this part just slides right back on. You'll see these two like hard plastic tabs on the end, and that will slide right in and kind of snap in and kind of hold it in place. All right. Then we're going to take our air tube, plug right back in, and then it'll start to lengthen. All right. And that's basically how you do your basic regular maintenance. That's really going to help you or prevent you from having additional problems with your marker down the road if you just do that simple maintenance. Yes, there's more maintenance you can do the regulator, but that in itself will definitely help your Geo last a lot longer. Remember, these are like the friggin' Hondas of paintball guns. They last a really long time if you take care of them. So regular maintenance is highly recommended on every single marker that you own. So now the one that everyone is most concerned of, that everyone definitely does when they play paintball, is the core. So let's go ahead and take out the core. Like I said, it's bolt out the back. Very simple to do. Move it on to the side. And this is the Geo core. This is a very simple core, and it hasn't changed too much from the previous Geos. So if you've owned a Geo before, this should be something that you're completely used to, even with the IV core. I like ease of maintenance when it comes to the core. I don't like too many O-rings. Which is why that's really why I don't own a MacDev, is because there's just too many things that can go wrong. You know, those markers are great too, but I just like how the Geo is just so simple and easy to use. So like I said, I wipe everything down, wiped off all the old lube. You can remove this tip if you want to before pulling out like I just did, so you make the tip last a little bit longer. That's usually what I do. So just wipe off all the lube. can bolt. All right, and then wipe down this thing. So your paintball marker will come with a couple of these if it's brand new, so that's good. So this is the soft tip, and it also comes with a Venturi bolt, which is nice, but I have never used it. I just prefer the soft tip, just because I've never had any issues with the soft tip. Now, if you put an IV core into like a Geo 2.1 or something like that, you're gonna have issues with this tip. So if you have an IV core and you're getting one of the older Geos, use this tip because you'll have some crazy issues with the soft tip. All right, so I always like to start back here, just put some lube on there, and then I just kind of run it all the way through the top of it. The prop shaft. There's only one O-ring on that prop shaft, that's it. I just kind of run it all the way through, leftover lube. All right, I set that down. Next I'll do my bolt, and I'll hit both O-rings up at once. All right, leftover lube, I just kind of run it along the back. And then I always hit the inner O-ring first, and then my outer O-rings. So there's one inner O-ring there, and two outer O-rings here. I mean, there are very, very few O-rings when it comes to this core, which is really, really nice as compared to other high-end spool valve markers. All right. So then you don't have to take the tip off, I just do, but push all the way through, push prop shaft back on, back through, and tighten it up. Put the tip back on. Make sure it's nice and smooth. All right. Now, with this Geo 2, like, the only issue that I don't, like is that I like how my Luxes had little buttons I pressed and my eyes came off. That was really nice. I mean, call me lazy, whatever, but it's nice to have the ability to just pull off your eye covers in an instant, because when you want to maintain the marker, it's just nice and easy. So when you take off the eyes, you just got to take off the screw. All right, and then here's the detent. Now, here's another thing is these use old, like Planet Eclipse hasn't updated their detents at all. They don't use Delrin detents like a lot of markers nowadays use. Personally, I am a Delrin detent fan, and because these, you can go through these pretty quickly, but the good thing is that they're very inexpensive. But I just, Delrin detents last forever. Like you don't got to worry too much about Delrin detents. When it comes to like replacing them or anything like that. But these, as soon as they get bent, like you have to replace them. You're gonna have like rollout and everything like that. So when you put these in, you just have to make sure you push down so that they're nice and flat. There's like little grooves or whatever, and it's gonna sit nice and flat in there. Okay. Now at the eyes, you just take the eyes off. You put them in and pull down, and they kind of just stick there. You can wipe this inside off and everything. Now what I normally do is I take off all the eyes, I take off all the detents, right? So it's basically, this is completely hollow, there's nothing blocking a swab from going through, and I just basically put that in there a couple times. Then I'll put in a microfiber a couple times back and through, and then I'll put my detents back in, then I'll put my eyes back in and everything like that to make sure that it is nice and clean. So then you put your eyes back on. You can put your core in. And that's basically it. I mean, that's really all the maintenance you got to do besides, don't be like me, clean your grips. Besides wipe down the outside and everything like that. But that's the maintenance that's going to keep your marker working for a very long time. Now, you spend all this money on this marker, you want to make sure it works don't do a disservice by not taking care of it. But the good thing about these markers is that they will work whether you take care of it or not. That's the good thing about planting Eclipse. So, but definitely use those tips or whatever to maintain your marker to make sure it's in perfect working condition. All right, guys, so that's the maintenance of this marker. Now let's go ahead and bring the camera up for the conclusion. So now that you've seen the maintenance and breakdown of the specs of this marker, what do I think about the Geo 3.5? I think it's an awesome marker. The Geos have been leading the way as far as reliability of spool valves for I don't even know how long. Like, they're super reliable. I've never had an issue with this marker, and I've had it for, I want to say, I don't even know, almost a year maybe. I don't know. I've had it for a while, but this marker has been treating me really well. I like the shaft barrel. I think it's really, really nice. It's honed really, really well. However, I'm not too picky about barrels. 14.5 inches, 14 inches, 15 inches. It's all variable. I don't think it really matters. I do like the feed neck. The little sprocket on here makes things a lot easier. I hate when there is no sprocket here. That's really annoying. I'm so glad that they put that on there. It makes things a lot easier when trying to change out different hoppers. Really like the long grip. Feels really, really nice in the hands. Bolt at the back. It's about time. Something that's becoming common in the industry. Great grips, nice and thin. But not too thin, so they feel really, really nice in the hands, nice palm swell. Once again, Pop's ASA, one of the best ASAs on the market right now. This little air pipe doesn't bother me at all. The trigger is a bit lackluster. I think that Planet Eclipse can do a lot better with their triggers. I've just never been a fan. It just feels too light. I don't know. I think I'd like more substance there, like a little bit more weight to it. I don't know. It just feels, I don't know. I've never liked Planet Eclipse triggers, which is why you see so many people putting violent triggers on their Geos, or most markers for that example, because I mean the violent trigger is light, but it's just so snappy and so crisp, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. This just feels and sounds, I don't know, not so great. Not a huge fan. Is it the smoothest spool valve on the market? No. However, it's going to be the most reliable. In my opinion, this is probably the most reliable spool valve marker you'll have. Planet Eclipse has great customer service. They take care of you really well. And it's a sharp looking marker. I mean, look at this thing. It looks sharp. I mean, I'm glad that they really made it look refined, finally. Now, it used to look robust and like a beast and with a workhorse, but now it looks refined. I think more markers need to go to where you can just take the eyes off instantly. It just makes life so much easier to where you don't have to take out an Allen key. That's just me. I love my Lux just taking the eyes off, boom, cleaning it out, taking the, the detents, wiping down real quick. Don't have to worry about little rubber detents falling out, all the other stuff. But other than that, I think they did a really good job with the Geo 3.5. If you're on the market for a used gun, definitely get a Geo 3.5 because it's going to shoot great. It has the IV core already in it, so you're not going to have to worry about purchasing that on the side. The price is going to go down on it. Just wait a little bit, and you definitely won't be disappointed. I hope this helps some of you guys out. I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.